Grand rising, grand remembering, grand resurrecting, grand being, beautiful, Vibrillionaire soul family, I am. As I sit here and marvel in awe at the needing of not needing to go anywhere, not needing to do anything, not needing to become anything, and surrendering that the existence of this life is more than enough, and surrendering that the breath and the pulse and the vibration of presence itself. Such a beautiful gift that very rarely people experience. And to think that over decades we've chased some kind of idea of life, we've searched for some kind of belief of existence, we've striven to experience some kind of success. We call it instant gratification. Whether you are elongating your satisfaction or you're surrendering to the satisfaction that is now by looking for it now, it's still the same thing. But when you dissolve into it, you realize that what you've been looking for is what is looking. And something came that inspired this message to be shared. We are in a precipice of a culmination of the Big Bang, of all the energy returning to one point. And this is the energy of I am. All belief systems, all perspectives, all ideas of polarity are being dissolved. This is a collective yes of remembrance. And a little plug for our September convergence, because people are starting to feel what's beyond the persona, what's beyond the mask. And this is why so many of us are not happy where we are not satisfied with all that we do. And even if we serve and we please and we do for so many, it's becoming a heavy burden to carry, because all it does is feed the persona. And because we've been in many different cycles of addiction, we've realized all these different addictions. And when you can sit with yourself and have no expectations, no conditions, no precepts, no agendas, no lists, no attachments, and just sit with life as life sits with life. Think about a tree. A tree doesn't move, it doesn't go anywhere. And it doesn't feel like it's missing out, because if it did, imagine that it would just give up. But a tree thrives because existence does not need confirmation. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need recognition. As the sun recognizes itself in everything, and all the elements recognize itself in everything. And if you look at animals, they are so content just simply existing. Of course, if they're wild, even more so. If they're domesticated, they do get affected by their owner. But even then, their ability to thrive in resilience and resistance, in abuse, in rejection. How many times do we see our animals, and for those that have animals, how many times do we see our animals, and Michael did this, oh, I'm just going to feed them, and that's it. I'm taking care of them as long as I feed them. But what about the care and the nurture, in the cultivating that relationship? That's how we treat ourselves. We are in this constant, go mentality, that we just feed ourselves a little bit of food and we think that's going to be okay. We treat ourselves worse than we treat our animals. And it doesn't matter how much you accumulate. It doesn't matter how much is in your bank account. It doesn't matter how many friends you have around you. It doesn't matter how much you succeed. It doesn't matter even how much you reject and you push away and you say you're not enough, because that even feeds the people pleaser. It feeds the victim that looks for excuses and complaining and criticizing and controlling, illusory control and conflict with its own self. That's a victim. You're being in conflict with your own source of I am. And then the Savior, it plays the hero. It plays as if it's God. So you have these two different polarities that endlessly chase an existence of an illusory identity. But when you sit and you drop in the middle of those two, you realize that you can make heaven and hell. You can unite the angels and the demons. You can unite water and fire, the elements of water and fire. You can unite Shakti and Shiva. You can unite all of these different polarities that people have names for throughout all of existence. Light and shadow. Why do you think it takes a man and a woman to create a child? They are opposites, but opposites attract. Why would we think any different? So, the culmination of this grand return, it looks ugly, family. And trust me, we've been there. We've been in the deepest, darkest pits of addiction, of death, of destruction, of not even trusting your own shadow. Forget about not trusting people around you, but you don't even trust your own shadow. And you live in this fight or flight existence that you feel like you have to fight everyone, and you feel like everyone's out to get you. We've been there. And let me tell you, justifying some, spiritual or religious belief to be in conflict with others by being in conflict with yourself, there is no agenda. There is no elite. There is no cabal. There is no big brother. There is no Illuminati outside of the one. And when you realize this truth, you surrender and you remember that the only thing that we have been irresponsible of is the human mind's place in existence. Just think about your devices. Do you have to learn how to use your device for them to thrive and for them to serve you? And if they don't serve you, then you haven't really got to know your device. Maybe you take on a project, maybe you take on a software, maybe you take on a new AI program. If you don't know the right prompts, if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know the different abilities that you have and the different abilities that it has, it's just going to be another tool. But it's going to seem like a weapon because it's not going to work. That is the human mind. This is the weapon of mass destruction that we keep blaming out there, that we want to have an excuse and a reason to blame. Instead of taking responsibility, how do you see yourself? Do you even know who you are? Do you ask the quality of questions that will dissolve the illusion of quantity, of searching, seeking, striving, surviving, of this true scarcity consciousness? Because abundance is not how much you have in your bank account. Abundance is not where you live, in your area code, in your zip code, in your flashy cars, in your flashy designer outfits, in your Gucci and Coach bags that really it's coming out that those bags are so cheap, and some of them are what do you call it? Are cloned. They're made in sweatshops, that they're not even real. Now think about all this idea that we've been programmed to think that this is more, this is better, this is more, this, you do this, you look more successful. And why do you think we transform our identities, our sexes? I'm not picking on any race, religion, or belief system, but I'm saying how everything is dissolving, of everything that you strived as an identity is being called to burn and purify in the flame of I am. And for those of you that think you can continue to fight, you have the freedom to do so. We shared this in another video. You are more free than you can imagine. The question is, what is that freedom costing you? It's costing you your family, but then you still think you're successful? You still think you honor and you believe God when the ones in your home are at war with each other, maybe don't talk to each other? Really look at the fingerprints of what you're leaving. We had to do this. And we do this every day. Now think about the community that you're impacting. Yeah, you can put a smile outside, but what kind of vibration are you leaving? What kind of imprint are you vibrating, affecting people's subconscious, which is a collective subconscious of your own relationship of yourself? This is why there's no one outside of you either coming to save you, and there's no one outside of you that can rob your freedom of who you are, I am. Only one that can do that is you. By renting, loaning, giving away, illusory giving away, that someone else has your freedom. Someone else has your love. Someone else has your joy. Someone else has your success. Someone else has your illusion of power. Someone else has your illusion of abundance. someone else has your illusion of existence. And we endlessly walk around in life. Do you know who I am? Am I worthy enough? Am I good enough? Can you tell me who, is my story valuable enough? Is my existence okay? Is there something wrong with me? And the reason why we do this is because we continue to seek validation, seek attention, seek approval, seek recognition, seek a sense of, do I fit in? Am I okay? Can I be a part of this crowd? Since we were in grade school, we always looked for a crowd to fit in. And this is why Michael got involved in gangs. Not purposefully, but when it came on to that situation, that was family. And family turned into being a gang. So what I desire to share with you on this video is we have never seen such a time as this, as shamans are coming out of their caves, out of the jungles. Buddhist monks are leaving their Shaolin temples, their Buddhist temples. People are coming off mountains to come and share the medicine because they're being called forth too. And you're being called. Because there's no one outside of the one. You can be the worst criminal, the worst villain in the world, or you can be the greatest illusory, let me say that again. You could be the worst illusory criminal and the worst illusory villain in the world, or you could be or you could be the greatest illusory savior. You could be the greatest illusory coach. You could be the greatest illusory guru. But what about yourself? Because that game is up when you face this and you walk this path. Because you can't fake this. You can't show up here and act like something you're not. You will be dissolved. You will be your illusions will shatter. And this is what we all have to face. This is no longer a choice. This is a collective agreement beyond time, beyond existence, that we agree to come together in this lifetime, in these lifetimes that are basically cycles of time that we are upon. The dreamer is reawakening from the dream of the egoic illusion of separation. And the more we fight for this survival or this existence of separation, the more we will suffer. The more the persona will suffer. The more the mind will be in pain, agony, frustration, stress, anxiety, not able to sleep, not able to think, not able to feel, not able to process. Because think about a computer. The more you put into it without resetting it or deleting files, your computer is going to give in. This is the mental computer of the collective existence of identity. So, family, I know this video is kind of lengthy. I might do another one and shorten it up in little pieces, but let me tell you this. If the shamans, if the monks are coming out of where they were for hundreds and some for thousands of years, they never left. People would go there, and some were not even allowed to go in. And they're coming out. What is that really meaning? And I'm not saying you have to go, give up your life and go do this. Give up your identity. Because what you think you'll lose, you're going to gain more than what you can imagine. Because life is so simple, yet it's so subtle. It's magical, but in that magic is the courage to face the mystical. Because the mystical is unknown, it's a mist. The mind can't perceive it, the mind can't conceive it. And life is so present, it's perfect, and it's precious. And don't wait like many that wait to the end of their lives, and on their deathbed, they're asked, do you have any regrets? Yeah, I wish I would have, stopped and smelled the roses. I wish I would have played with my children more instead of, having to work, 7 days a week, 6 days a week. You know what? I wish I would have, followed my heart and just went in on that dream, on that vision. You know what? I wish I would have questioned. I would have asked more questions instead of, now that I'm so stubborn, and this stubbornness has caused this sickness, this Alzheimer's, this dementia, this insomnia, etc. What worked before is no longer working because it worked for the performer. But presence is no longer asking for permission because it never needed permission. But we collectively agreed and we gave the permission slip that no matter what happens in our lives, do whatever it takes to wake up. We had many thousands of years of freedom through monarchy, through patriarchy, and now we're coming to the singularity. We cannot run. We cannot hide. We cannot fight anymore. For those of you that are fighting, it's going to get heavier, and it's going to get more pressure, and it's going to fall like a house of cards. And for those of you that are ignoring, it's going to become more real, because what you resist persists. And for those of you that are chasing, it's going to become more fleeting. It's going to fall apart, and you're not going to be able to see where you are, and you're going to come to that point where you said, I already been here before. Why does this feel the same? Why does it feel like I'm not going anywhere? Why does it feel like I'm on a hamster wheel? Because what you're chasing is yourself. But we're not told this. So this message is for each and every one of us, because Michael's played the game of every character that you can think of. The villain, the destroyer of worlds, destroying people, destroying opportunities, destroying himself, or so he thought. And he's played the savior, he's played the hero, he's played the coach, he's played the teacher, he's played the spiritual wannabe awakened avatar. But let me tell you, there's no avatar that is awakened. It is an awakened presence of I am that breathes through every tree, every animal, every human, every rock, every drop of water, every particle of light, every molecule of breath. And this is for every single one of us. You are whole, perfect, and complete. And the message is to join us in Vibrillionaire.com. If you're ready and you feel this call, you have one-on-one personal support to dissolve the person and to mirror one another and dissolve even deeper in such a magical way, in such a simplified way, that your life is going to reveal the greatest school, the greatest university, the greatest divinity that your DNA is already designed to show you. It was programmed beyond what you can ever imagine. This is the divine conspiracy of one love, I am consciousness, presence itself. And for those of you that are ready to join that group beta coaching program, there's a waiting list, and we're waiting for a couple more slots so that we can fill that group and we can have a good amount of group so that we can really dissolve together. And we don't have no rush. Whenever it's ready, we're gonna start. So whoever's ready, we have community as well. We have a free WhatsApp group portal, Vibrillionaire Frequency Collective. We have a Saturday podcast, the Portal of Remembrance. It's not information, it's remembrance. The Vibrillionaire Convo-Sessions podcast, Portal of Remembrance. And we have Vibrillionaire.com that is about to unleash like you've never seen before. But this is not about Michael. This is not about Cora, Alice. This is not about Shakti, Natasha. This is not about Rajiv. This is not about any one person. This is about presence. And presence is knocking, whispering. But now, it's knocking down doors. Because we are one, knocking it together, dissolving together, returning, remembering, resurrecting, I am. Pulling the curtain to the Wizard of Oz and realizing that the game is up, that this was never the master, this was the servant, and this whispers the truth of I am. Remember who you are. This is the Vibrillionaire I Am Presence Revolution, reminding you, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you truly are.